That one that's essentially on the bypass around the river going up toward Dollywood area.
Behind the Perkins Church, like you're going straight on to Picture Doors.
There's physical therapy center up there, apparently close to that sewer, as I recall. Christy talked to them one time. They tried to get her to come work for them.
But it sure was hard to get up there.
I'll bet that's true, yeah.
Tomorrow there's going to be a youth choir there. You won't see me tomorrow either.
Oh, David,
We all went to the car. We've been there. You've been there doing stuff.
Actually, you name it, actually.
One question. Have you been?
McNew laugh.
I have to work when I'm there. I'll do it. Next Saturday, you don't have to.
International traveler.
Well,
Have you met Cliff Brennan? Judy's future. He goes to Italy a lot, and then he went to India here.
There, that's it. McNew laugh.
The guy in India that owns marble corporation, he was down to help him.
railroaded, whatever. We're going to have a blessing. Yeah. Didn't do any good. We're going to have a blessing now, and Kenny is going to give our blessing.
Father, we do just thank you, Lord, for this day and this opportunity to gather together as a family. Father, bless us as we gather together and let us just get closer together, Lord, and share in love and grow closer as a family. Bless this food now to our body and just us to thy service. And Lord, also bless those that have gone to the trouble to fix it. And for Clayton and Effie for letting us be here, Lord, we ask you to just give them a special blessing. Now be with us today, throughout all next year, and bring us back again the following year, Lord, that we may continue just moving together in your love. For it is in Jesus' name we pray.
Okay, dig in.
I'm telling you. Come on, Brian, put it in. Come on, Anna Mae, you get one up one of the other.
Go down both sides. What is it? That way.
Did you hear what she said?
Come on, grandmother. Come on. Here, go right here. On up there. Oh, come on. Here you go.
I'm afraid you're flattering this crowd. Take care. Offering. I believe this will hold more than this one.
Bobby, there you elected last year, hardly unbeknownst to him. Bobby, how did you get elected to the wonderful office of president? Did you run for that?
You don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice?
You don't have a choice.
Oh.
They elect you.
Uh-huh. Obviously you
Railroad
weren't
you.
here, right?
No, I was here.
Oh.
That doesn't help.
Sorry, don't like being on camera. Yeah, we'll just go outside.
See, I did. You got an offering, didn't you? Want some sweet potatoes? He's
Good.
know.
We're gonna have elections. I said, yeah. And I'm gonna stay awake here in this one. That's right, we caught you at it. Yeah, if you go to sleep, I know where I'm at.
I just leave it like that.
I've experienced that route.
Line that rose Evelyn and Agnes in front of me putting the bread down. Hi.
Hey, here, honey, let me help. Is that
I'm
enough?
Kara. There's Janice.
What do you want? Piece of bread? Some of this? You want some of this?
Where's all this crowd come from?
Little sister, I have a daughter, Pat, who's moved here in South America. Nephew's Hazel. Robin Sexton. She's the oldest one here. Original plan, McNews. And I guess she's the only one left.
I know.
There's King Diner,
Can I help you?
Judy Ames, Brenda and Cliff is Judy's fiance. Their daughters are our host and hostess today.
We give them away from the table, they're allowed to never get back, right?
Backwards Phillips. Here's the water babies.
Boy, Judy got a lot to eat, didn't you, Carol?
Oh, thank you.
What, nice right there in front of the
Oh,
camera?
well, you know, that was your third trip.
There's Clayton Jr. This is his homework in today.
There you are.
Go ahead.
I got out of the car and stepped on a rock.
Here's Drexel and his wife Jane. I'm gonna put this down because my hand's going to sleep.
On record now.
Martin,
They're telling not to say anything in front of your wife.
you bring your wife over here. I haven't met her.
Okay, I'll do. You tell her about your dolls real quick first.
No.
We want to hear about your dolls.
I don't know what you want to know.
Well, tell us how you got started collecting, how many you had at the most, how you dress them, where you find them.
Well, I started collecting when I met with Roxy.
That's a
And I
good
guess I ended up with about 400 or 500. And you get them from dealers, you get them from friends, or we have conventions, local and national, and there are lots of dealers there, and you buy them that way. And then after you enter the collecting a while, then you get interested in the history and the authenticity of the history of the doll, the age of the doll, the authenticity of dressing. And it's interesting, most interesting to research that and dress the doll in the appropriate dress of the era and in the appropriate fabric. And it is most interesting to do that. You wouldn't think about dressing an old doll in modern material.
Right, and polyester.
Yeah, right. So it's an interesting hobby, and in that way you make a lot of good new friends. We do have a local club, 15 of us, who meet regularly, and they're the best friends you could have.
Good. Now, somebody told me that Aunt Leota, one of your sisters, went to India and brought back some kind of an embroidered scarf or
She
something.
brought back 2 stoles, and I have one of my dolls dressed in that stole. And when I told her, she gave it to me, and I said, ooh, they'd make a pretty doll dress. And she said, you wouldn't dare cut that up. I said, you just watch me. So I did, and I enjoy that doll every day. It is so pretty. So there's just a lot of little interesting things that about them. I recently sold my most valuable doll since I moved. I've sold a lot, given a lot away, but I still have enough to enjoy them.
Well, I understand after you retired that you'd sell a couple and go to Europe or
Oh, yes.
do whatever.
I didn't buy any in Europe, though.
Didn't?
No.
I remember seeing one that had on a black velvet gown with little red rosebuds in it. I think. Did you make one out of your high school prom dress?
Yes, but it was not rosebuds.
Wasn't it?
No, it was just print velvet.
Oh,
Silk velvet. High school dress. Was not a prom, it was just a high school dress.
really? Okay.
So it just, and I've got one that was dressed in my grandmother's dress, plaid dress.
Oh, really? Oh, neat.
So it's just a lot of fun.
What do you look for in a doll? If you're looking for a quality doll and you want something to be a collector's thing, what are some of the primary things you would look for?
The condition of the doll, the originality of it, and the maker.
Oh, really?
If it's scarce. They made those China head dolls by the thousands.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a wonder there's as many of them left as there is. But that's what you look for, is if they're rare.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
Thank you. Tell us about your children now, and where you lived, and
I had 3 children. Lost my oldest daughter 3 years ago.
mm-hmm.
And just recently sold my house after Ralph and I lived there for 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
Moved to retirement home in Sevier County. I'm enjoying it.
Good. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Do you know this lady? Do you know her?
Yes, I sure do.
Are you related to her? Tell us how you're related.
I married her grandson.
Okay. And you're from South Carolina.
See, she married Barbara's daughter. Barbara's son.
Barbara's son.
Yeah, Barbara's son.
Right. And then you had a daughter named Martha. And where does she live?
She lives in Florida,
What part?
Coral Springs.
Where is that?
Coral Springs,
Is that out South Florida?
just outside of Fort Lauderdale.
Okay. And then you have a son,
Lives here.
Bobby. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. What'd she tell you?
Better keep the mouth shut.
Don't do it.
Eyes open and mouth shut.
One place I told you that you was
Stay out of trouble that way.
on the way to
I don't have trouble.
where you were at Mountain.
So you can open your mouth and close your eyes. Okay.
Down to
You mind telling us your name for the ones that don't know that might watch this?
I'm Grady.
75 miles.
Okay. You're married to,
Ethel.
that's Ethel.
Could see.
And you have a daughter.
Daughter passed.
Is she your only child?
No, I have a son.
Oh.
Wayne.
What is his name?
Wayne.
Where does he live?
He lives in Powell.
And where does your daughter live?
She's in Bolivia. She's a Baptist missionary.
All right. Heard she spoke at a big women's convention in Orlando a few months back.
Yeah.
Her letters are very, very interesting.
Yes. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Do you ever worry about
I
her?
don't know I
No.
get every door up.
People can't explain. I can't either.
It's a long way from here.
So I'll take care of them.
Have you ever been able to go down and visit her on the mission
Oh,
field?
yeah.
Everything got up this morning.
Yeah, we stayed in Bolivia a couple of months,
Did you?
about a year ago, yeah. A little over a year.
Now, do they speak Spanish or Portuguese there?
Had them going up because we had.
She's probably very fluent.
Yes.
She was in
So you had
Costa Rica, wasn't she?
Yeah.
For a while.
6 months.
Oh,
Well, I bet you miss her.
So then after
Yeah.
we got.
But on the other hand, if she's where she's supposed to be, you can't
That's where
can't wish it any other way.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we didn't make it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. I'm gonna
But you
get
didn't
over
have
here to these
trouble.
two now.
One place in the Yukon. Beautiful.
This is a brother and sister. These are Clayton Jr. on the left and Ethel Stewksbury on the right.
I just couldn't.
Oh, you stopped late and got up there?
That and the Yukon.
Oh, you come.
There was no place else to go. We just that's the only place we found.
Well, we got stuck in
We got up before daylight and left there.
we got into a place like that over in Nova Scotia. And the only place in town that wasn't full.
Yeah, we did too up from Cape Breton. You've been to Alaska, Carol?
No, I haven't. I've heard it's beautiful.
We drove several years ago.
You drove? I hear it's the road really tears up cars, eats cars. Really?
It really wasn't bad at all. The car was dirty,
Yeah.
but
It's
it
all
was.
paved.
Most of it, when it's not paved, is small rocks. And if they're graded, it's better than the paved road.
Probably.
Because it had those frost heaves.
Yeah. Yeah.
We were gone about 6 weeks.
Really? I knew a couple in Seattle that drove up there, and they had a pretty good sized van. Not a big van, but a real sturdy vehicle.
They stayed in it.
I don't remember, but they said that they indicated, the roads freeze in the winter and then they thaw, and it's real hard for them to keep them up.
Can't go very fast.
Yeah. And gas stations were kind of far apart. Well, what did you go up there for? Just for?
Just one.
Did you like it? What did you? Let me get a little closer so I can hear you better, because this is going to pick up. Tell me what you remember most about the trip to Alaska.
Well, every day was different, but Mount McKinley we were lucky. That one fellow said that he had been there, I don't know how many times, and he never had seen it. And the guide who took us around, he said he had worked there all summer, and he guessed he had seen it about 6 times.
How come?
It's always cloudy.
Oh,
Most high mountains, cloud up in the daytime.
yeah.
But we spent the night there. And we took this wildlife tour out.
Oh,
And
really?
it was about 10:30 we came back in, the sun was still shining, but you couldn't see the mountain. The guide pointed out. So the next day we were driving from Mount McKinley down toward Anchorage. And in the milepost book it says, from this milepost you can see Mount McKinley. We turned around and there it was. It was huge and it was beautiful. It really was beautiful. Then we went to Valdez, and I got a boat that went out to the glaciers, and I guess that was my highlight.
All right.
It just he was small enough that he just went right up next to the glacier, and there was just solid rocks around us, and I could reach out and feel this big old calf that broke off, Oh, it was beautiful.
Solid rock and
But
solid ice.
solid ice. But Grady had gone fishing that day. He said, "You care if I don't go, and I'll go fishing." He went to buy him some fishing equipment. He fished all day, all the way back, and he never caught a fish.
Oh.
But that was a nice trip.
And then you said you're gone 6 weeks. Do they have motels or places you can stay, or
We
what do you
made
do for lodging?
reservations all the way up as far as Fairbanks, but we didn't make them after that. We didn't set a time limit, but we rode a ferry from. Well, we drove to Vancouver and rode a ferry over to Vancouver Island.
So you drove to Vancouver from here?
A car. And so then we drove up to the end of Vancouver Island, caught a ferry, and went to Haines. And when we got to Haines, then we took the car off, and then we drove the rest of the way. Drove all the way back.
Wow.
We had frost in August up in the Yukon. It was pretty.
Sounds like a memorable trip.
Yeah, it did.
Grady said y'all have been down to visit Pat several times.
Yes, we've been
Awesome.
to Bolivia twice. Went to Costa Rica about 13 times.
Did you really? How long do you usually stay when you go?
Well, we stayed 3 weeks one time. And but Bolivia, I think we just stayed about 10 days. When you don't speak Spanish, that's enough. But
But we had had an exchange student
Uh-huh.
that lived with us. And so we visited her one time. We went and stayed about 4 or 5 days with her, and that broke it up. We got to see another town.
Yeah.
And that was
What does Pat do down there?
she does women's works with women and children and promoting missions in churches, all the churches in Bolivia.
And there's a walkway that goes into
She's been with the farmers for 20 years now.
It's a long time.
Got her 20-year bid this year.
All right, good for her.
But she seems to be happy, so when you're happy, that's what.
So I told Grady, if they're where they belong, you can't ask it any other way, even though you miss them. Yeah. My oldest son's in Haiti now.
Jimmy's out there on the way, brother.
Is he there?
I guess you're not gonna.
Well, he went down in March, and he'll be back at the end of this month, but he's already talking about going back. And well, I sent you one of his letters. I guess he's happy in a sense. Of course, you're not happy around that kind of misery, but as far as satisfaction and fulfillment, I think
his letter.
I really feel like, he knew when the Lord raised him up from that wreck and let him walk again, that there was still a purpose, something for him to do. And I think this is probably it. So, Mr. Clayton Jr., he's looking at a book. Is that one of your books there now that you've put together, or is that?
Now, this is the minutes. This is
Oh, that's the minutes.
Secretary's book.
Uh-huh. Are you the secretary now?
No, I just looking over what's
Checking them
gone on
out.
before.
We can elect him to carry us to wants to.
He'd have to leave the room, wouldn't he?
He's going to have to call the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now I got everybody's attention.
You got stage fright?
Well, we met on June the 18th, 1994, and we had the numbers as follows. We had Minnie's family 6, Roxy's 14, Clayton 14, Leota's 3, Clara 11, for a total of 48. We had additions to the family. Joe Hogan married on March the 12th, and Kerwin Roberts married to Debbie. Ken and Christy building a new house. Make pictures at Christmas, etc., and send to Rose Evelyn. I like my notes. Patricia traveling around the U.S., giving talks, etc., throughout the year, and back to Bolivia in January 15th. Clayton said we needed to try to get more young people. And then I've got here, Kenny said he believed. And that's all I put.
You believe what? What do you believe, Kitty?
And nominations for officers were open, and we got President Bob Mills, Secretary May, Treasurer Carolyn. Claire reported we had $40.14 in the Treasury, and Ralph Hodges brought a video of the old reunion films, and everyone enjoyed watching them. He made a copy for each family, and that's it.
That's good.
That's all I have.
That's good.
We want to know what Kenny believed.
I'm not sure about that. He told me he believes he's not going to be president. I understand that. You want to take your head count?
Everybody,
This is
Minnie's family.
And how many y'all?
see, there's me, Nancy, Brenda, Judy.
Roxy's family.
I don't know.
All right, we'll skip. Clayton's family.
It's like 10, I don't know.
Are they still outside?
7, 8, 9, 10. That's what I'd say. There's 3 down there. Me and you.
Hazel, Carolyn,
Hey, no, I didn't count Carolyn. That's 11.
11.
It's all right, they can count me either.
Okay, you got 11. Leota's family. Clara's family.
I ain't counting. I can't get that high, I gotta take my shoes off.
You got
11.
10,
11.
11. Everybody keeps adding one to their totals. Somebody's getting added everybody's family.
They keep leaving us out.
How many's in your family?
Fine,
I believe.
there's 5 of us. Is it 10 or 11? Everybody's got 11.
We'll try
Can we come up with one more?
Shall we put 11 on there?
And Bertha's family.
2.
We've got 2. Is that, did I get everybody?
Okay, you wanna go down the list and see if we've added or deleted anybody?
Yeah, we've got some.
Go put their name down and call a roll, and that way we know
I know we have to, oh, that'd be. All right, do we have any additions?
Okay,
I have an addition.
Kimberly.
I have my beautiful daughter-in-law, Kimberly.
Tell her to stand up so we can all see her.
Okay,
I'm learning how to be a mother-in-law.
January 30th.
Is she a good mother-in-law?
Oh, wonderful.
I bet you paid for that.
She really is.
Martin got married last September.
I get along better with her than I do Martin.
Carolyn's got a new granddaughter.
Well, I see you broke your arm.
We've got another marriage, let's get it. Kerwin.
Kerwin and Debbie. I think they're all down there.
No, Debbie's right there,
Brittany Nicole Hogan.
When was Houston's birthday?
January 3rd.
90 what? 95?
95.
And then we have Lauren Elizabeth.
Lauren Elizabeth Daniel.
Yeah, we got the desk next.
Is it deletion?
Yeah. The desk, I guess.
Forgot.
Okay. Now, tell it to me again.
Dorothy McNew Walker.
Yeah, Dorothy McNew Walker.
Okay.
And Elmer.
She died, February the 24th.
Okay.
95.
Elmer Walker.
Elmer Jean Walker, yeah.
Her husband.
Carolyn spent all the money.
Volunteer to be treasurer, can't say
I
sure.
went to McDonald's and they laughed. We have a little bit and some was paid for the stamps last year and that's all I know.
We need to pay some
We need to
more
take some
stamps for this
Yeah, you
year.
better take some up.
I got half.
Carolyn reported we had a little bit and we need some more.
For this box.
You think we ought to audit those books?
Hey, listen, when I get to the Oak Ridge cutoff on 40, it gets too far to turn around and come back.
Yeah.
That's for a fourth.
Oh, it ain't gonna be about $100 bill, I don't think.
Then it'll be people's, you can add to it as you wish or do whatever you want to. But I will keep it one more year, so if you want to change your picture page that I've got, and you want to do different, why, whatever.
You want them to write stories too?
But I'd like for you to write some stories, and as Anime suggested in it, maybe you can't write, but if you sit down with a tape recorder and just talk into it and tell about something that you remember about past years, well then we will, Anime or I1 will sit down and type them out, okay? Oh, Anime's good at volunteering.
Something,
You said that, Anime?
But we would be glad to get any stories that you know about or things that you remember in relation to your mother and daddy or whatever. And just anything that we can add to that in years to come your children might enjoy reading some of these things.
And sometimes you may need to write to rebut something somebody else wrote. Because
That's right.
So I wrote some things a couple years ago and gave them to Mother and Emily and George at Christmas, and Emily and George remembered them very differently than I did. So I suggested they write their version.
That's right. And if you have any pictures of your parents or anybody that you'd like to add or any memorabilia, like Charlotte gave 2 or 3 pages, you know, and they were interesting, and it'll be something that we can remember by. So anything that you want to put in there, well, we'll take. Doesn't make any difference who they are.
Okay.
I think you did a wonderful job on that.
Yeah, I want to second that, really.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have Patricia's story of going from Costa Rica to Bolivia?
I ought to put it in there.
We ought to put that letter in there.
Yeah.
That ought to go in.
We had her over to our Kiwanis Club to give a little talk, and that was her talk.
Well,
And I'll tell you, everybody just raved.
Shall we vote to have it again next year? Same time, same place?
If I'm here, well, you're welcome to
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, like
Better
sign.
ask Effie.
You mean Effie's second husband won't
Won't let us go.
That's up to them.
I believe the way she's going, he's going to outlast her.
It's gonna be a tight race.
How we come to
and
the,
he was responsible for my back then.
Carol, you.
You mean toward Kenny.
In about 2 or 3 weeks' time, he was run over by a tractor and wrecked a car. So, you know what,
so maybe you won't be here next year.
Yeah, that was kind of eventful, wasn't it?
Now we come to the part that Kenny and I don't care for.
we got bad replacement though,
Yes, we have. 2 or 3 as a matter of fact.
What you got? Bill has something he'd like to say.
Oh, sure.
Now, Dad and Ruth are not here this year, and I just want to kind of give you a report on them. They found out this past week that she's got cancer again, and is going to have surgery this week, probably very early this week. It's in the bone in her upper jaw. So you all remember her and Dad. She's had her share, and they both have. And, we just hope everything comes out well.
Thank you, Bill. Any other comments? We've done that before we did. Let's vote for a president, and then not this one. So
I nominate Brenda, she's now the doc.
Okay. Any other nominations?
I kind of nominate Brenda, she didn't show next year.
Well, who else is the doc?
Judy.
I vote for, why don't you let Ethel do it this next year? She hadn't had it in a long time.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I second the motion.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
You're the
No.
president. It's such a big job.
You hear that train whistle? I heard it.
We didn't ask for any nays.
All I did is, the president needs Ginger to send out the cards.
That's right.
You'll have to call it a reminder. She got
Yeah.
this year.
That was a cute card after it finally got
I
out.
forgot.
We got our-
Yeah, I sent her the labels, a month ago, I guess, or something like that.
And she got a new baby too, doesn't she?
Mine, yes.
You turn that thing around there.
Sure. Which way? This way?
I'm gonna pull your plug.
Okay, that's an idea.
What?
My wife's name's Helen, not Carolyn.
She was tickled to death that we were making these pictures, and she said one day she might surprise us and get here for the reunion.
Be great. If Ginger sent her the card that I got, it didn't get there till tomorrow.
She was glad to be included on the invitations to the.
Well, Nancy has
Well,
Lou Gehrig
she's
is-
doing fine.
She's in a wheelchair in the house, and she has one of these help dogs, you know, where they help her. And she wrote me a card, and she said it gets her in the refrigerator, and it helps around, but it doesn't do windows.
I guess now we got us a president, I guess we need a secretary.
All right, I nominate myself and just get it over with.
All in favor?
Give her by the trouble, huh?
You're just super, Kate.
That's the way it is, we might as well not agonize over it.
And Carolyn has to be treasurer because she didn't bring the money.
That's right, so it's over.
We nominate Carolyn to be treasurer.
Amen. Second
I
motion.
don't know if we ought to or not.
She may not have that
Katie,
money. She may not have that
She
money.
absconded with the funds.
Oh, no, I didn't. It's just sitting right there. I thought that all week long, over and over. Take that money. Take that
Well,
money.
you might as well let
the new president take over now. Coming in the door.
I don't think she liked you.
Maybe, honey, you should have been up here.
Well, I have two things that, my son Martin, got married, but then he also graduated from UT in December and has his own business and landscaping business, if anybody needs any yard work. And,
You get free advice.
no, there's not free anymore, Kenny. He has to make a living, has to pay for a house, you know, and a wife and stuff. And Ann graduated from, my sister Ann graduated from nursing school in May. And she's now an RN at Carolina Medical Center in Charlotte. So she went back to school after all those years.
Now, Jimmy and I bought a house this past year. Finally.
Where?
Yeah,
Have we got your-
landscaping in Paul Martin.
Have we got your new address?
No, probably not, because we just moved in February.
Yeah, anybody to move, we need your new address.
Change mine. Lavar's changed hers too.
I got her,
No.
unless she's moved in the last year.
No, I haven't. Have we got yours, Bill?
No,
No getting
Paris.
away.
Yeah.
Grandmother's in a new house now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, grandmother, you had some exciting news for everyone. You moved back in March.
Everybody knows about that.
You still have to announce it.
You gotta give me your new address.
I sold my house in the middle of March and moved to a retirement home at Mark Hill Village in Sevierville. Sold my car at the same time, so I'm at the mercy of somebody else.
She misses it too. She told us that earlier.
Do they take you, do they have cars, people who take you wherever you want to go? That's good, isn't it? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, they take us certain days of the week to Kroger's, First Lady, Walmart, Food City, banks, post office.
That's good.
And they'll get a whole group occasionally and really go on a trip. We came one night down to Regas.
Well, how nice.
They keep them busy.
They do things like that.
That's
for you.
wonderful. And see, if you'd been there by yourself, you'd need to
Clayton
have
worked
all
the jigsaw
that.
puzzle over there, if y'all might want to get a copy of it.
This is still not home.
I know, it is, I know. It took me a long time to get used to that little one.
I had $1 million, you know what I'd do?
I'd frame it.
Buy your house and call back. I had $1 million down there, condo right down there where you are.
Yes, yes.
Get a car and get this place.
I had to,
You know, that is true. That Hunter's Crossing over there is really good.
I had to get
Yeah,
parts.
but people are
bring parts
so
in.
good. They just come in and take care of you, you know, if you need. I mean, they're just so helpful.
They come in and clean my apartment every Monday, do my flat coat, laundry.
I believe I missed out. I believe I need that conversations and go more, couldn't I, Kitty?
Oh,
Say hi, Max.
what does Max do?
Max likes to go swimming, but can't get in the lake today.
Oh, he's not. Why not? Are you being mean?
Yes, I'm being a mean mommy today.
He might learn to get rocks like the other dog. So he might get littler rocks.
They
And,
say people look like their dogs. I
I kind of look like him, don't I?
Well, I'm glad.
little pink tongue, big bright eyes.
George says I've got two Dover persons.
I know it. That's been a long time ago.
Yeah, she lets him get by stuff she never let us get by with.
Yeah. That's
Maybe she just got tired of trying.
the way it's supposed to be.
Well, I didn't eat much of my strawberries, that's all right.
Oh,
We're just moving another bed.
I just cannot, I can't live by myself any longer.
Well, you all make good companions.
Yeah, we're just moving another bed, so come on up.
And both of you have some at the top.
Didn't eat much of that ham.
Well, okay. Bye-bye. David, you look so good, I can't get over how good he looks.
Well, I try to take good care of him.
Yeah, I see you do.
We'll see you. May, we'll see you. When are you going back to Florida?
Tuesday.
Tuesday morning.
When you're going back, Anna Mae?
Tuesday morning.
It's good to see y'all again. Good to see you, Janice.
Good to see you.
Tell your son hello.
I surely
We missed him.
I surely will. Wish he could be here.
Yes.
I really miss him.
Tell him we said we missed him, and we wish he'd be here too.
Bye-bye.
Hello, Kerwin.
Hey. You all right?
Hazel, come on up.
Join the club.
Come on up and join me.
Okay.
See you, Anna Mae.
Uh-huh.
All those old fundamentalist preachers have just ruined the Southern Baptist Convention. That's the way I feel about it.
I think I came in on the tail end of an interesting conversation. Puzzle that Clayton Jr. has worked. It's over 1,100 pieces, and it's not very light over here. That's also their granddaughter, their only grandchild. And this is it's a Looney Tunes. You can see Sylvester there probably, and there's all kinds of Looney Tunes characters. Bugs Bunny in the middle there. He's got this all worked. And now that he's got it worked, I don't think he wants to take it apart. Kara, could you work a puzzle with that many pieces? You know how many pieces are there?
No.
More than 1,000 pieces. 1,100 pieces. That a bunch?
I can't even do this.
No. You like to work puzzles? Littler puzzles? Yeah.
Can you get me a cup so I can give me something to drink?
I sure will. I'll be glad to.
Yeah, they only let me make sure the things
Come back later.
We're looking out the back door now at their yard. We're here on part of Watts Bar Lake. They've got a gazebo down there and a boathouse and a pontoon boat that we usually take boat rides on, but we've had some thunderstorms off and on today, so we haven't gone out on the lake. You can see the flag blowing, see how much wind there is out there. There's that Laverne coming this way in the pink.
You can set those down.
Your
Don't get me on camera. That's nice meeting you. Heard a lot about you.
Oh, you've been telling us.
Here's our re-elected secretary.
Call me sometime.
Nice place up there.
I love you.
Yeah, I know.
get Agnes to come with me.
Father's Day.
Mommy, did you wash yours? I don't know where to put it.
There's Bobby, she's getting some plants. Oh. Going home with an armload. There's that dog, you can't see him down here. I couldn't get my camera plugged up down there. There's an Irish, or not an Irish setter, I guess she's a retriever that loves to swim, and she dives down in there and brings up rocks as big as a softball and brings them up and lays them in the yard. And they threw a little tennis ball out. She looked at it and just went on by and dove down, got her another rock, brought it up. The guy that owns her said the vet said his wear tooth down, they've worn down about 1/4 of an inch now. So when she's toothless, she might have to do something else. Aha!
Here's your new wife.
Yeah, they're getting about
See ya. Good to meet you, Debbie. Have a good trip back home.